I've been getting a lot of requests lately to do an updated room tour video, and I kind of forgot how long it's been since we took the camera around the room and showed off all the shelves, because I know there's a lot that get distracted by all the toys behind me in videos, and you just kind of look around and try and peg them out. So this video is just for you guys who are easily distracted by all the colors in the background. But more than that, it's just for all those curious, and I just kind of want to show off a little bit, because there's been a few corners of the room I've been intentionally leaving out of frame until I could do this video. Now, I've been doing a lot of rearranging lately. There's been some new shelves added, there's been a whole bunch of changes, so this is a good time to do it. Originally, I was going to use the tripod for the whole thing. That way it's all nice and professional, it's steady, we're not going handy cam, and I'd be in frame to talk about all the shelves as I went by them, but, yeah, I've got things up here, and the tripod doesn't go that high, and I've got things down this low, and the tripod doesn't go that low. So we're going hand cam. So you'll excuse the shakiness as we tour around the shelves of the room, getting all the way through everything. So, without any further ado, let's cut this intro and begin. Well, I guess the best place to start is where the magic happens. My little computer set up. My HD screen and the fancy new microphone that a lot of you have been enjoying in my recent reviews. And I can't use here because it doesn't move around the room with me. But you can see there's little odds and ends all over the desk, just things that are either brand new, I just got in, or I'm just keeping around because I really like them. Yeah, Gill's belt. The eagle-eyed viewer would also notice a Kivara hiding behind the monitor, and the little gills here on the other side. Yeah, those are the ones I reviewed for Toycember. Behind it, you can see there is a bookshelf, which currently has my portal gun. The little figurines you see, everything on this black shelf behind the computer is all a little bit more special to me in certain ways. Like, the Vulpix is the last of the Pokemon collection I used to have. There's a Gao Gaigar model I painted myself. The big gills and Agito I found at MetroCon, that type of thing. The greatest video game villain ever, by the way. I've lost focus. You'll also see these things. Every now and then on the weekends, I go to a painting place. You know, paint your own ceramic figures. So I have my little kid dressed up as the Adam West Batman, that type of thing. But it's all a little bit more personal here. So yeah, that's where the reviewing gets done. One bookshelf to the right, and we have my Transformers Prime shelves. Autobots on top, and just below, the Decepticons, where you can see I have a lot of Vehicons. They're drone units, I can justify it. Your day will come, your day will come. But as you can see, there's still room to grow on these. Still plenty of toys coming out. I am digging Beast Hunters. There's the weaponizer taking up the back shelf. I will defend those weaponizers, by the way. I'm about to take you over to see Ultra Class toys that were $30 that are not nearly as good as some of those. Well, as good as that one. I'll defend that Bumblebee, let's put it that way. Yeah, this one's still growing. Still space on it. Still a lot to go. A lot more coming in right now, as a matter of fact. Below it, we have Classics universe, whatever I deem fits into the Classics aesthetic. Mostly Decepticons, a few Autobots that spilled over from the shelf below. Yeah, there's a little mismatched here. You can see some of the Fans Project armors behind as well. I'm going to redo these shelves eventually, so the sides are a little bit more even, or just to mix them together. That way I get some big toys in both shelves, and it doesn't look so uneven. It's an aesthetic thing for me. Below that, it's a dark shelf because I don't look at this often. You'll notice my titaniums and my power core combiners, which I still don't know what shelf they're supposed to be on. I've got something special planned for them because you guys out there have really helped my Power Core collection grow, and I'm going to make it pay off. There are videos in the works. Stay tuned. Bookshelf number 2 as we move to the right, and now we're getting into movie toys. The top shelf is all Dark of the Moon. The bottom shelf below that, that's Revenge of the Fallen, plus a couple Dark of the Moons that couldn't fit up top. Dark of the Moon actually surprised me. I didn't plan on getting as many, and obviously I did not because there's more Dark of the Moon or more Revenge of the Fallen toys below. But they did a lot more right that I actually wanted out of the movie lines, so I was actually kind of impressed and got way more than I planned to. So we can see this used to be so even. It used to be nothing but Dark of the Moon. Then we had nothing but Revenge of the Fallen, nothing but Revenge of the Fallen. And then we go movie 1, movie 1. Portal Turret, movie 1. So this used to be a really even shelf. I might redo these just so some of them aren't so crammed anymore. But yeah, all the movie toys, all collected there. Now, above these two shelves, you see, is where all of my Megatrons rest. So you can see. And there are a ton of them of all different varieties. Movie, G1, Classics, Trilogy, everything. There's a gap there for G1 Megatron. I haven't gotten him out of his box and onto the shelves as he deserves. There's the masterpiece nobody likes. There's little Megatrons, there's big Megatrons, there's ugly Megatrons. There's a big Bumblebee head. It is not a Megatron. But you can see this is where all the Trons go of various types. Also, something you might have noticed, card backs. I used to keep all my cards. I don't know why. But this was my, when I threw them out, this was kind of my compromise. I keep all of them. One of each. That way, it's kind of like my Hall of Armor. Just to see as the designs changed and evolved over the years. And you can also notice, yeah, I might as well do it now since I've already panned across it. Optimus Primes of all different types and sizes. There's the Cybertron, still probably my favorite Transformer toy. Moving over, we have small, medium, large, jumbo Prime. All different types, all different series, all different varieties. It just goes on. There's even the potato head on the far right. Ooh, it's just a lot of red and blue plastic, isn't it? So yeah, Optimus Primes, all the time. Continuing clockwise around the room, we find my favorite series of them all, Cybertron. Here we have the miscellaneous shelf, mostly of non-show characters and repaints, so there's a few in there that were in the series, just don't fit in the shelves below them. You can see Legends, Minicons, all different types. Some of the best repaints ever, by the way. Hello, Cannonball. Moving one down, we have mostly, well, except for a few Legends in there. Those are all Decepticons, and I'm going to show off now because I just got that Blue Ramble. That was 7 years waiting to find one with my name on it, and there he is, with his brothers, color coordinated and everything. I love having them. Ugh. This is my favorite toy line, so you have no idea how much it irked me to have such a big gap in there. Here we have all the Autobots. Yeah, I really went all out on this one. I've almost got the entire toy line, except for the ugly Beast repaints they did, and like the ugly Demolisher they made. So, yeah, it's my favorite toy line for a reason, and it's the only one that gets 3 shelves to prove it. Moving down below that, we have Transformers Energon. Autobots up top, Decepticons down below. I really think this toy line got a bad rap. I mean, I've actually quite enjoyed a lot of these toys. They're nice, solid, and I like some of the gimmicks they bring to the table. So, I don't know, I think they kind of get an unfair rap. However, I do take issue with a few. We'll get to them someday. All in all, though, I still find I quite enjoy this toy line. Even the ones that some people say I shouldn't like. I end up liking them. I can't help it. We're at bookshelf number 4 now. This is the central one, the largest as far as width goes, as far as overall mass goes. And this is my extended Beast Wars collection. You see a lot of random ones here. Yes, that's a Beast Wars toy for people who don't know. It's from the Japanese line. We have a God Neptune, which I'm quite proud to own. And one of the first toys a fan sent me, Hellscream. I'm slowly building a collection of cyber beasts. He's not in the shelves because I can't bear to shelve him yet, but I've got Dirge Gun somewhere else. And eventually I need to get around to picking up Max B and Thrustor. But for now, yeah, this one's a pretty simple shelf. There's not a whole lot interesting or anything going on here. Oh, look. Injector. Even he's embarrassed. He's hiding. Moving down. Beast Wars and Beast Machines. These are the show characters. And yeah. This is what I had to do. Supreme Cheetor is way too tall for these shelves, so he's kind of squat and presenting his chest like he's trying to hitchhike. It's undignified Cheetor. Jeez. As you can see, these are the characters who appeared in the show. All the familiars. I swear to God, these three were an accident. I didn't mean to put Scott McNeil's characters together. It just kind of happened. I swear that was an accident. I swear. There's Transmutate. It's lonely, hanging out. Hi. So there you go. One of my favorite shelves. Moving on to another favorite shelf of mine, the quite crammed Transformers animated shelf. Yeah, I tried to get as much of this line as I could, and save for a few BotCon toys, mainly all but one, actually. I didn't do too badly here. Really love this toy line. If you didn't give the cartoons a try, then shame on you. But the toys did such a miraculous job of capturing their looks, and they are such clean toys, so intuitive in design. And yes, I have 3 headmasters. Don't ask how it happened, it just did. But, you know, I can zombify all of my leader class animated toys. It's kind of awesome. There they all are. Love it. Moving down one, a relatively new shelf. This is my Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron toys. As you can see, we have the San Diego Comic-Con Bruticus, the G2 Bruticus, which is kept separately, and then we have the retail Bruticus, who is disarmed at the moment. For some reason, I can never get a blast off when I'm actually out looking for him. I only find him when I can't afford him. It's weird how that works. As you can see, all these set up. You can see all the ones from the Soundwave review that I have. I've got Blaster, Grimlock coming in. I got the other tapes coming in. This shelf, I still got the records to pick up eventually too, so hopefully this one fills up a little bit more. I'd like it to. I really like these toys. And below that, this one's a weird one. I kind of call this my expanded universe shelf. It's everything that's kind of classic-y, but isn't quite. There's a lot of repaints in there that I've got other versions of. Like there's Cyclonus, the first release. I've got the all-purple one they did for Battle in Space. So the one that is inferior to me goes to this shelf. As you can see, I've got Dinobot, who's kind of classic-y, but not a G1. I have the GDOs down here that are classic-y, but not quite. So it's that type of shelf. It's a miscellaneous. It's just, well, honestly, it's whatever wouldn't fit in the other shelf, but it all kind of goes together in a weird way. So I kind of dig this shelf. And as you might have noticed by now, guarding the central bookshelf, we have Brave Maximus and his old brother, Fortress Maximus. The two stand together. Out of frame, because I'm not standing up just to get both of them in one shot. But yeah, that's the central shelf. Here is what is tentatively known as my masterpiece shelf. It's bare. For those who still don't know, by my endless ramblings about him, Starsaber is and was my holy grail toy. I picked him up at BotCon 2010, I reviewed him. It is an epic piece of work, and I didn't want to put him into the G1 shelf. Don't worry, we're getting to that shelf. So he's up here where I want my Masterpiece Transformers to go, but as you can see, I've only got 3. The American version of Rodimus is on the way. Never actually found Grimlock, and still hoping to get Red Alert. Soundwave, I'm waiting for the US release. But yeah, I always wanted the Takara Rodimus, but every time I can afford a $200 toy, I can find him, and vice versa, that type of thing. I figure by the time I can drop $200 for a toy, I can afford to not care about having him twice. So until then, I'm after a Grimlock to fill a rather large gap here. I imagine the shelf will actually be quite cool once all the cassettes and everything like that will be in there. Should be neat. One below is a universe shelf of also a miscellaneous nature, as you'll find a couple of stray Beast Machines deployers in there. But otherwise, it's all Universe and Robot Masters. Pretty much Japan's version of Universe. And yes, I've got another Star Saber. This one combined up with Victory Leo. But as you can see, yeah, it's the repaint shelf, essentially. It's everything that came out that really wasn't anything else. One of the best repaints ever. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So, there you go. It's miscellaneous, but there's a lot to it. Yeah. Despite some gut instincts, I do display my Armada toys. What are you grinning at? I'm not done with the Armada toy line in any sense, but honestly, I do kind of want to give it a fair shakedown, too. There's actually quite a few Armada toys I quite like. So at some point, I'm going to have to do a video that is dedicated to just the ones I like. That way, it's not an all Armada hate fest. There's actually some love to be found here. One below, R.I.D. This is the toy line that got me back into Transformers. I kind of played around with the Beast Machines toys, mostly when they went transmetal, but I was still in that, ooh, icky beast animals, truck not monkey mindset, even though I watched the shows and enjoyed them. Not Beast Machines, but you get the drift there. This is the one that got me back full force. I had to have everything in the line, beasts and everything. That's when I started to get my appreciation for the beast toys, actually. So that's what really got me back in. This is the shelf that took the longest to redo, because this one was sitting longer than any other shelf before redoing it. So it really told me, I've gotten a lot better at this. I took everything out going, what moron assembled this shelf? And, oh, yeah. It's all pretty now, though. Over here's another familiar shelf. This was in my last tour video, but there's a little bit different to it now. Well, for one thing, it's off the floor, so you can actually see things. But this is what used to be my rarity shelf, and has since just become a shelf of really cool rare toys and a bunch of small things that don't fit anywhere else. Hence why I keep a lot of Kabayas in there, along with my world's smallest, which actually are rare and desirable. Love having those. The rare titaniums, there's some Revoltechs that don't fit anywhere else, some of the club toys, the alternators that were really rare. Up there, yeah, some rare Energons, some OTFCC. The one that is not the American Excellion, that's the Japanese one that is actually very, very rare. Some Botcons, some OCC. That is precious to me. Yeah, over on the TFW 2005 podcast, I mentioned that mold would be a great X-Brawn, but they missed the boat when they did Gears instead. A fan took notice, redid the toy for me as X-Brawn, and it is amazing. Look, how good does that fit the character? Man, they should have done that. Here, I'll give you the top view first, but we're not quite done with that. There's the top view. All my Toy Simber reviews of the Matrix and Unicron. So yes, and another Star Saber. You find them everywhere around here. We're going to move down here and find my BotCon 2010 toys. Well, mostly BotCon 2010. There's a couple stray ones. This is the one where I realized that the Generation 2 BotCon set really only has like one, maybe two Generation 2 toys in it. Everything else was Euro G1. Kind of weird how that happens. Oh, I want to talk about it in length at a later date, but I'm not going to make any promises, because every time I make a promise involving these guys, it goes bad. Moving down, we have the rest of the set, including all the Sharkticons and everything that's really cool. Alpha Trion, one of my favorite BotCon toys. Thrilled to have him in the collection. Now, as I mentioned, we're not done talking about that X-Brawn, because I gave him a counterpart. Behold, this is an Energon Sharkticon redone as R.I.D. Night Cruise, who you can see right there. There's the original. See it? And there's my version. That's the first time I've actually completed a repaint project. Love it. That's one of my favorite molds, one of my favorite repaints. Uniting the two, and it's a beautiful thing because it works really well. So I've got 2 custom RID toys now. There is the little Megatron that my friend Michelle made me. She is kind of awesome that way. And a couple of random auto toys. And a mini Fort Max. Oh, he stands guard over the rare toys. So yeah, this shelf is kind of cool because it's got a lot of precious stuff to me. Both rare and from friends and fans. Now we're switching up on you because we're going to finish off with what I consider to be the big finale. This is the shelf that's to the left of my bookcase, or my work desk. This is actually buried in my closet, as a matter of fact. There's dresser. Here's shelf and closet. And as you can see, it's a lot of Kamen Rider. A lot of figure arts, Sochaku Henshins, motion revives, some pre-motion revives from Agito. Of course I have more Agito toys. Why shouldn't I? And then you got Ninja Turtles. A few from the new series. I kind of fell off on those, unfortunately. Need to go back and pick them up. Yes, I have the Figma link for everyone who's asking. I don't know if I'll review it yet. Fies that was kindly sent in by a fan. Sits proudly. An Ichigo watch that I need to get a new battery in, and I don't know how to take the strap off. Yeah, I don't wear watches often. Above that is kind of a miscellaneous shelf. Just a lot of really cool toys that I pick up here and there that have absolutely nothing to do with anything else. You can see one corner is kind of devoted to my D-Arts Mega Men of various types and series. All of the Joint Gatai Megazords that I reviewed in the past. A Figma Drossel, because why not? Terra, Skeleton, Turtles. Now I'm just describing what you can see on screen. This is not entertaining anymore. You can see big robots in the back. Fan sent me those. Actually, I don't know if he's a fan. He's just looking for a toy collector who would give him a good home, and indeed they found one. I do want to review the Voltron at some point, though. Bugmen. Bugmen everywhere of various types. Moving up one shelf, we've got another miscellaneous. Weaponeers of Monka. Yes, it's an independent toy. It's kind of cool. I need to pick up more. We got some Thundercats, which fans have been actually increasing this collection as I've gone on about them. Some little Go Rangers. The classic Michelangelo. Everyone asks me what that VR Trooper is. That is an Action Works toy. I forget the toy line, but that's actually a Metalder. It's comparable to a Figuart in articulation and size, except he was twice as expensive as a Figuart, which kind of made him a little, a little risky to buy. You'll see Mechagodzilla in the back. There's a Quetzalcoatl Dopant memory that I don't have a spot for in the storage bins. Figuarts Rangers. Figuarts, Sentai, Zed. So, yeah, all kinds. Like, even down to Panty and Stocking and... Oh my god, GoBots. There's GoBots here. Run! Run for your lives! Yeah, this shelf is all over the place. But that's kind of the fun of it. Just all kinds of love everywhere. And here we have this weird shelf of just big robots. Yes, there's the Bongon I wanted to review until I realized, holy crap, he's complicated and I'm scared to fiddle with this thing under the restraints of keeping it in camera frame. A Mega Dragon Zord, a vintage one. Thank you, I've had that since childhood. There's my Zoids and more more mini Megazords of various types. There's a big Agito Trinity. There's Gokaiger stuff behind there, and a Go Buster. You know, every time I actually go looking for Go Buster DX mechs, I can't find any. I want the rest of them. Ah, well. And behind there, this is a really dark shelf, unfortunately, but hopefully you can see enough to realize this is where I keep my web divers as well as my large transformers of enormous size. Starscream's in the back, Unicron, Omega Supreme, Optimus Maximus. There's a Primus buried back there. He shouldn't be buried, but it's all I can do for now. You can see the web divers and a few of the Mugen Vines I've left out on display are up here, including some I reviewed, as well as some that I really want to review, because they're rare, they're huge, and they're exceptionally cool. So, yeah, that's the closet corner of the room, but before we move on here, I'm gonna show off a couple other areas. There's this stronger shelf that I didn't mean to make a stronger shrine. It's just kind of what I did with that little shelf I put up. There are my Sanshi badges. Very cool. And little Pixel. These are also from Michelle. Iceman and Elakman. Sword. And then we get up to the upper corner of the room. These will be familiar to anyone who watches the Metrocon videos. Yeah, this is kind of my Corner de Scott. Yeah, when you look at how many autographs I have from the guy, it does get a little creepy, but, you know, the dude is a friend. I mean, I can honestly call him that, and I'm privileged to be able to. These aren't just so much, hey, I've got his name on a toy. You know, I bring him goofy stuff to autograph because, you know, I want it to be a little bit different than just, oh, it's this, you know, it's the 100th Gundam DVD he signed. It's the 200th Inuyasha DVD. I want it to be different, so I'd stand out a little bit. And he knows me by name, so I did a good job. And for me, it's the memento of the memory. These are the times I met him, and they're all special to me in different ways. So, yeah, that's where they end up after they get autographed. My little corner. So that's the room in a nutshell. It's pretty much everything I showed off before, save for the television corner. And that's where the most renovation has gone on since my last tour video. Everything else is just rearranging. As I draw past my curtains, we'll get to the shelf I'm most proud of here. And you are seriously not ready for this, but I'm going to show it off to you anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, behold the belt wall. This is where I keep my Kamen Rider belt collection now. This was a pain to mount on the wall, but oh my god, is it worth it. I don't get sick of this display. I really don't. It's just a pretty, pretty display. I'm very proud that I can put all of them in order. Kuga, Agito, Ryuki, Faiz, Blade, Hibiki, Kabuto, Dendo, Kiba, Decay, Double, O's, Forze, Wizardo, and my current collection of rings, which I'm still missing a few. I'm actually behind on rings. This is this is unfamiliar to me. Usually I've got all the collectibles of the year up to date. I'm missing a bunch now. It's embarrassing. And you can see a representation of riders below there. No Hibiki because I don't have the Sochaku Henshin here, and no Wizard yet. But Kuga through Forze. I thought they looked cool there. I thought they complemented everything. You can see the secondaries are above there. And there's Stronger's belt. High and on top. Centerpiece, of course. I love this shelf. I really, really do. But you can't just look at that shelf for the rest of the video. So we're going to move on. There is Hercules in all of his giant glory. There's all my game shelves and everything. There's my Transformer DVD, autographed by Peter Cullen, Paul Lighting, and Stan Bush. I really want to add to that someday. I need to meet some other G1 voice actors and get their autograph on it too. But as big as this display is, and as cool as it is, this isn't the biggest change to my room, believe it or not. Nope, that lies to the right. This is the TV corner. And such a pretty corner it is. I'm not gonna lie, that 50-inch flat screen, yeah, Toy December paid for that. It wasn't intentional to pay for it, but my TV just decided to pick that moment to crap out. So yeah, I have this nice big screen now. This is beautiful watching cartoons on. And you'll notice above, I have one massive shelf that spans the entire width of the alcove, where all my G1s now sit together. So many, and this is like the most crammed shelf ever. I literally have no more room on this. I couldn't fit a Micromaster on here anymore. There's a few that don't fit in, that Machine Wars Soundwave, for instance, but I really don't have another spot for them right now, unfortunately. But you can see everything going on through there. My Scorponok, my Predaking, Soundwave, Hot Rod, all of them. G1, Jetfire. I don't care what collection you have for Transformers, the G1 Jetfire always makes it look more awesome. And there's my 6-shot and my Computron I'm so proud of having. This is a beautiful shelf. I love having all of them together like this. I might sort a few out so I can get some more in there. I'm missing a G1 Blitzwing, for instance. I'd love to have one in here. That would require rearranging a few misfits that don't quite belong, and this is really packed in, so I don't want to do it just yet. And down here we have where all the alternators ended up. You also see my robot heroes lined up beforehand. This is actually a really cool change. You remember they used to be way high up. You couldn't see them. Now they're all there in their glory and looking great. I still love the design work and artistry that went into these guys. I guess we'll just... So yeah, for everyone who ever wanted to know what about 2,000 different toys looks like, there you go. That is the TJOmega room as it stands in 2013. There's still a lot on the way. It is always growing, always changing. And when we'll get around to doing this again, who knows? Because I don't know for the life of me where the next bit of space is going to come from. But I always manage to find it. So until then, hope you enjoyed this. I hope I wasn't rambling too much this time. And hopefully I will see you all again when it is back to editing. And we've always got a lot more to cover. A lot more.